There's a nerve in your body that runs from your brainstem all the way down to your abdomen. It touches your heart, your lungs, your stomach, your intestines. It governs whether your body is in threat mode or recovery mode. You can't reach it directly. No supplement touches it, no thought accesses it, no amount of willpower changes its state. But your exhale reaches it every single time. 2 episodes in, we established that breath is the only autonomic function with a manual override. We established that most people are breathing through the wrong door in the wrong pattern, and the physical, neurological, and physiological cost of that. Today, the mechanism that makes breath the most powerful intervention available to a human being, the vagus nerve, and the specific thing about your exhale that changes your nervous system state every time you use it. This is the episode where the series stops being interesting and starts being useful, so pay attention. First, a quick map of the system we're talking about. Your autonomic nervous system runs your body without your conscious input. Heart rate, digestion, immune response, hormone release, pupil dilation, blood vessel diameter, all of it automatic. That system has 2 primary states. The first, sympathetic, fight or flight, the threat response. Heart rate accelerates, blood moves to the muscles, digestion shuts down, the immune system pulls back. Every resource goes towards surviving the immediate threat. The second, parasympathetic, rest and digest, recovery mode. Heart rate slows, blood moves to the organs, digestion runs, the immune system operates, cellular repair happens, memory consolidates. The body does all the maintenance work it can't do while it's running from something. And you need both. The problem most modern people have is not that they use the sympathetic response. It's that they can't fully get out of it. The threat is chronic, the deadline, the inbox, the financial pressure, the relationships. Not a predator you can outrun. A signal that never turns off fully. And the body, which was never designed for chronic threat, stays in a partial sympathetic state day after day. Digestion compromised, immune function compromised, sleep compromised, recovery compromised. So what switches it off? The vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is the 10th cranial nerve. The word vagus is Latin for wandering. It's called the wandering nerve because it does exactly that. It wanders from brainstem down through the neck into the chest where it touches the heart and lungs. Down into the abdomen where it connects to the stomach, intestines, liver, kidneys, all the way to the colon. It's the longest nerve in the autonomic nervous system, and it's the primary carrier of the parasympathetic signal. The message that tells the body the threat has passed, you can recover now. About 80% of the fibers in the vagus nerve are afferent, which means they run upward from the body to the brain. The vagus nerve is primarily a reporting system. It's constantly sending your brain information about the state of your organs, your heart rate, your gut, your lungs, your immune markers. And the brain reads those reports and updates its assessment of whether you are safe. Stephen Porges at the University of North Carolina developed what he called polyvagal theory, published first in 1994 and expanded since. His central insight was that the vagus nerve is not just a simple on-off switch between threat and safety. It has multiple pathways, and one of those pathways, the myelinated ventral vagal pathway, is specifically associated with social engagement, safety, and the capacity to be present with other people. When this pathway is active, you are calm, connected, regulated. When it's suppressed, you are either mobilized into fight or flight or shut down into freeze. The 3 states most people know from the inside finally have a biological map. Now, the specific thing about breath that makes it the access point. When you inhale, your heart rate speeds up slightly. When you exhale, your heart rate slows down slightly. This is called the respiratory sinus arrhythmia, and it happens because of the vagus nerve. Here's the mechanism simply. When you inhale, the lungs expand. That expansion puts slight pressure on the vagus nerve receptors in the chest. The heart rate increases to move more blood through the expanded lungs. When you exhale, the lungs contract. The contraction removes the pressure. The vagus nerve activates and heart rate drops. The exhale is when the vagus nerve fires. The exhale is when the parasympathetic signal goes out. The exhale is the off switch, which means a longer exhale means more vagal activation. A slower exhale means more parasympathetic signal. More parasympathetic signal means the body is being told at the level of the nervous system to shift out of threat and into recovery. This isn't a theory, it's measurable physiology, and it has been measured. Bernardi and colleagues at the University of Pavia, published in Circulation in 2002, showed that slow breathing at 6 breaths per minute significantly increased baroreflex sensitivity, the body's ability to regulate blood pressure, and increased heart rate variability in both healthy subjects and patients with chronic health failure. 6 breaths per minute, 10 seconds per breath. That's roughly half the average adult breathing rate. And the effect on the nervous system was measurable and significant. So I mentioned heart rate variability. Let me be precise about what that is, because it's one of the most important metrics in modern health research, and most people have never heard of it. Your heart does not beat at a perfectly regular interval. If your heart rate is 60 beats per minute, that doesn't mean 1 beat every exact second. The time between beats varies, sometimes slightly longer, sometimes slightly shorter. That variation, measured in milliseconds, is heart rate variability. And here's why that matters. High HRV means the nervous system is flexible. It can shift between sympathetic and parasympathetic quickly and appropriately. It can accelerate when threat is present and recover rapidly when the threat passes. It responds to the environment rather than staying stuck in one state. Low HRV means the nervous system is rigid. It's stuck, usually in the sympathetic state. The recovery path is sluggish or suppressed. The body can't shift gears efficiently. Research shows that low HRV predicts, with statistic reliability, worse outcomes across nearly every health category studied. Cardiovascular disease, mental health, cognitive function, sleep quality, immune resilience. HRV is not just fitness metric. It's a measure of how well your nervous system can regulate itself. And slow diaphragmatic breathing, specifically breathing that extends the exhale, is one of the most consistently documented ways to improve it. Not over months, but over minutes. Now back to PORGs. 3 states: safe, mobilized, shutdown. Safe: ventral vagal, right? Calm, present, connected, the state where learning, creativity, genuine relationship, and healing all happen. Mobilized: sympathetic, fight or flight. Activated, useful for genuine threat. Destructive when it becomes the baseline. Shutdown: dorsal vagal, freeze, dissociation, the system that fires when the threat is overwhelming and neither fight or flight is available. The collapse response. Most people cycle between mobilized and safe. Some people, after chronic stress or unresolved trauma, spend significant time in shutdown. The body collapsed rather than regulated. Breath is the fastest non-pharmacological tool for moving between these states. Not because breathing is magic, because the exhale directly activates the vagal path, and the vagal pathway signals safe. The body takes the signal, not always immediately, not as a complete override of genuine threat, but consistently, measurably, reliably. A longer exhale moves the nervous system towards safety, toward the state where the body can do what it needs to do. 6 breaths per minute. Inhale for 5, exhale for 5, or inhale for 4, exhale for 6, extending the exhale slightly more. Research from multiple studies have confirmed this as the resonance frequency, the rate at which the breath and heart rate synchronize most efficiently, producing the maximum increase in HRV. Try it for 5 minutes, not as a promise of transformation, but as data. See what the system does when you give it the signal it was designed to receive. The body has an off switch. It's not a supplement. It's not a technique you need a certification to use. It's not something you have to buy. It's the nerve that wanders from your brainstem to your gut, activated by the simple, consistent extension of your exhale. 20,000 breaths a day. Every one of them is either training the nervous system toward flexibility or reinforcing rigidity. The exhale is the variable. You control the exhale, which means you have been holding the off switch your entire life. You just didn't know what it was. Episode 4, CO2. The gas most people have been told is waste. The gas that is actually one of the most important regulatory molecules in the body. And why everything you were taught about breathing more to get more oxygen is exactly backwards. I'll see you there.